And I'm fucking fondling the bag, like looking at him like, yeah, I smuggled drugs into jail, bitches. Fuck you. And then I look up and there's a camera pointed right at me. And I'm like, ah.
Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Bad Times, Good Stories podcast. My name is Joe Flanders. I'm looking dapper as fuck because I had a job interview today. Look at me, trying to make something of myself. Did it work? Did I get the job? I don't know. I'll be sure to keep you posted. I hope you're having a great week, a great month, a great new year. Today I'm really excited to have talked with Craig Conant, really funny comedian. He just opened for Crystalia not long ago here in LA, and he's got a bunch of great stuff going on. He's got his own podcast called Community Service. You should definitely check it out. We had a really fun conversation about all of the crazy stories that Craig experienced and that apparently he had to go through before he realized that he needed to stop drinking and stop doing drugs, which he has done. He's been sober for a number of years now. Obviously, if you are going through some substance abuse issues and problems, it's not inherently funny, but for Craig, who's come out the other side, the stories are pretty damn funny. So I hope you enjoy it. Really, it's I'd say he had a number of rock bottoms, but it took one last straw for him to get clean, and he's incredibly open and honest about his experiences. We've talked with several people who've had addiction problems, whether it's sex addiction or drugs or alcohol. Again, if you're in it right now, I wish you the best in getting through it. It's certainly not an easy thing to do. But again, Craig has kind of come out the other side, and so we're really able to laugh about all the crazy shit that he experienced. And again, I just really appreciate him being so open and honest about it, and it was just a really great conversation. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, give us that 5-star rating on iTunes. It'd be greatly appreciated. If you don't, then hopefully I'll never know because you don't leave a 1-star review. But if you do, then I guess everyone will know how much you hate the show. So I guess that's your prerogative. As always, you can check out badtimesgoodstoriespod.com for past episodes, merch, and a link to the Patreon page. Again, I really appreciate Casey being our new patron. It means a lot that you guys are willing to throw even a cup of coffee's worth of money every month towards me and doing this show. So thank you for doing that. And you can also email me at badtimesgoodstoriespodcast@gmail.com and share any bad times that you've experienced. And I may very well read them on the air. Without further ado, here's my conversation with Craig.
Yeah? Do you like, how's the uncle life?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Because you play with him and he shits his pants, you hand him off. You hand him off. That's the best. Oh, your turn.
Has there been anything, have you had to have like the awkward conversation where you did something that she didn't like or something like with the kid? Like,
No,
that's good.
she would punch me in the throat. She'd say, "Shut the fuck up, he's my kid."
There'd be no awkward conversation. It would just go straight
And
to...
also, like, I would never need to tell her advice. It'd be the exact opposite.
Right, yeah.
She needs to tell me what to do.
You trying to have kids?
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
For sure.
Me too. But hopefully once we both get to a place where we have an assistant, right?
Yeah.
That would be the...
Yeah, somebody shipping out my shirts.
So you opened for Crystalia the other night, right?
Yeah, it was very nice at the Wiltern.
Yeah.
It was quite magical.
How was it? Well, you just told me.
It was it was just great, man. I'm not used to big theater shows like that. I've done a handful with him and a couple other people, and it's just another. It's just it's just times 10. Just that lovely, awesome feeling of usually the crowds I get are 100 to 400 or whatever.
Yeah.
As small as 4. It doesn't.
Sure.
I've done rehab shows for 3 people drooling. So I've done them all. But that is just a big old love fest. It's just, people are, it's just tangible energy, just waves hitting you in the face. And you're this little thing on this big stage. And it feels mighty nice, brother.
I believe it. How many people does the Wiltern seat? Do you know?
I think 1,800. I'm not sure. Very close to 2G, something like that. I think it varies with. I don't even know. Just
Sure.
a lot.
A lot. Yeah, more than 3 drooling people. So
Yeah,
how did that? Have you known him for a little while, or?
yeah, probably 4 years now. I don't know. Yeah, it's been a little bit.
Well, that's awesome. So clearly you're doing something right.
Yeah, man. I just gotta keep fucking washing dishes in my bathtub and drinking coffee with ice cream scoops in it. Should we elaborate on that one?
Sure. I was debating. I was like, should we give that
It's
context?
kind of interesting.
I think so.
Yeah.
I failed you and have no sugar or honey or any of the other things.
Or stevia, which I don't like anyways, but I would have taken it.
You would have taken it. Yeah. So you had the brilliant idea to suggest.
You offered me Kool-Aid. Who the fuck puts Kool-Aid in the goddamn coffee? Although I was raised on Kool-Aid, as you probably could tell by my cavities.
I was in a pinch. I was like, well, it is sweet.
Yeah, it is, but it's also tropical punch. Fucking, would you like some cherry black coffee? No, thank you.
So we resorted to some vanilla ice cream.
Hey, it's fucking delicious, man.
I'm glad.
It's good.
Yeah, almost like a little mini coffee milkshake.
Yeah.
Of sorts. Yeah. Well, these are kind of my favorite episodes where I don't know where we're going. Because I asked if you had any stories that would qualify as bad times, good stories. And it sounds like your life has just been a series of bad times, good stories.
Yep. You could say that twice, brother. I mean, I fucking list them. I got raided by the police. I threw firecrackers at cops on horses. Separate story. Yeah. I got guns drawn on me and chased by the cops while hiding narcotics in my crotch.
Okay.
I got fired from Trader Joe's for farting on my manager. My dick hole closed up on me when I was on opioids and I had to get my dick drilled. I guess I don't know, bro. There's more. What if I just cliff notes and be like, okay, I gotta go. We're done here.
Well, we definitely leave them wanting more.
Yeah. By the way, I'm sober now. I'm in therapy and I'm a changed man, just for the fucking record.
Oh, absolutely.
You can evolve. There's butterflies, motherfuckers. I was a caterpillar. I was a fucking sea urchin. Now I'm a moth.
One day,
I'm
butterfly.
a dusty moth. One day I'll be a monarch butterfly. All right? I'm getting there. So don't you judge, you fucking judgers. Like, you never done nothing wrong.
You know what you've
Who
done.
listens to this?
Yeah, a bunch of judgers.
A bunch of judgers.
Well, based on the feedback I get, it's mainly people who get to feel better about their own lives.
Good. That's fine. I'm
At this
down
point-
with that. If I can make you feel better, I'm down with that.
That's my whole motto, I guess. At this point, I've done like 74 hours of this show, so I've pretty much told every embarrassing, cringeworthy, terrible experience I've had.
Yeah. So basically, we're not going to get a career after this. We were going to book you for network, but then we found out about that cousin bit that lives on the internet forever.
So I appreciate you sacrificing all potential work in
Yeah.
the future for the entertainment of our viewers
I
and listeners.
appreciate you limiting me to just selling T-shirts out of my studio apartment with no kitchen.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
On in West Hollywood. I always almost give my address away, and as you progress in this business, I go, oh, maybe that's a bad thing to do.
Could be.
Yeah. Potential very bad. So I guess
Have you done it before? Did you ever?
I think I've done it once, and I don't even know where. So
No, all right.
stalkers out there, they'll find it. But
Yeah, they will.
they you'll be like, oh, I said the street. Gah.
I know. Well, so you've been arrested a couple times.
Yep. I've only been to jail 3 times.
Okay.
I've been cuffed up, I think, 6 times. I don't know. You lose track. It all blends in. The first one's uneventful.
Sure.
You know, we'll just skip that one, but the mugshot's funny. I just, and then, but the second one was quite nice. I just got off work at Trader Joe's, and I was with my buddy.
Yeah.
And he was the degenerate, and I was the degenerate, and we both were on drugs. I think he was on speed. I was on opioids at that time in my life. And, you know, we get off work late at 11, and we buy a bottle of $2 Chuck each.
Okay.
Because, like I said, we're degenerates. Not even let's split a bottle of wine. I'll take my own. Sauvignon Blanc, please. And that's when it was $2. Then it went up to $3, and now I think it's $3.49. Those dirty devils.
Man, what's else Chuck doing?
I don't know. It's been about 8 years. Shit, maybe a decade from this story.
No. Yeah.
Anyhow, so we'll just dig in because
Yeah.
So I fronted him. I sold weed at this time in my life, and I fronted him. You know what fronted means?
Yes, you gave it to him.
Yeah, I gave him a gram of weed, $20. He said, "I'll pay you later." And then he never paid me. So then I go to score drugs, and he's driving. This is a classic. Like, hey, stop at this house real quick. I got to do something. Just run an errand. And then the drug dealer comes out, and then not only did I make him, no, I drove. I don't remember. I drove, but regardless, I tricked him into going on a drug run with me for narcotics, and he's on parole, so he's not too excited about that.
I wouldn't think so.
Oh yeah, but I drove, so I got, and then my buddy, the drug dealer. I always name first and last name, so I'm learning lessons on that too.
Want to give him a fake name?
No, I already,
okay.
yeah, Bob.
Yeah, cool.
I can't even do the fake name because I'll accidentally switch to the real name.
Okay.
But I've learned lessons from that. Hey, can you edit that guy's name out of that podcast there? I don't want to fucking. He's still selling drugs, and I don't want to get knifed up in an alley. You know, you motherfucker, you ratted me on accident. It was for comedy.
It was for comedy.
It was for a laugh.
Don't you get it? It was a goof.
It was made because I'm borderline autistic, and I just need to name every last fucking tidbit of detail.
Sure.
So we go, and then my buddy comes out, Bob the drug dealer, and then I go, I don't have any money, and I hit up my buddy. I go, hey, you owe me 20. Give me that, and I make him. I bamboozle him into paying for my drugs, but really it's my money that he owes me.
Yeah.
So technically, I didn't really bamboozle. I bamboozled the bamboozler.
There you go.
There we go. Now we're talking.
We go.
I've never said that phrase
It's a good
before.
sentence.
It's a good sentence.
Bamboozle's a good one.
That's what we'll title this.
Yes.
And then, so then I get all fucking pilled up. I'm on Norcos or Oxys or whatever the fuck. I don't. It all blends, brother.
Sure.
Just some opioid. I can't talk. And then we go to Hermosa Beach, Pier and Plaza, and we go to Sharky's, and we're just fucked up. And then, and I think we got kicked out of 1 or 2 bars. I can't really remember. We spilled drinks or dancing on the bar. We're not supposed to. That's a girl. Like, girls are supposed to do that, but we're just twacked out and want to do that. And then I think we got kicked out of 2 or 3 bars, and we exhausted our resources. And I think the bars were closing. And I had, some narcotics on me, some oxys. Like, we called them Roxys back then. Don't know what they still call them nowadays. It's been years for me.
Yeah.
And then we run into these 2 girls I know, and it's Hermosa, and they're like just got done with a lingerie party, so they're in like lingerie, and they're like, "Come with us," and we're like, "All right,"
So wait, they're just wearing lingerie?
Yeah, but it's Hermosa, so as odd as that sounds, it's kind of like the normal thing. Like they have theme party nights, pajama party, whatever. They're just in like a provocative. They look like fucking dominatrix,
Yeah.
But any other city, this would be like, what the fuck? But you're in Hermosa Pier Plaza, it's like kind of almost normal.
That sounds like a magical place.
Go there to get STDs and drugs, brother. That's what you go there for, and to get sober and find God.
Oh, wow. So one extreme or the other. Yeah. No, just pleasant times.
No, because you get the STD and the
I got it.
and the drugs.
I butchered that for you.
And it's okay. Yeah. But I'm sure there's a church down there
Yeah.
So go there. Sure. Fuck church. But find God.
Yes.
At the same time. So then we go with them and we hop in their cab to this house party. And then my buddy is, he's a criminal and he's kind of feisty and loud and obnoxious. So he almost gets in a fight with the dude there and he gets kicked out of the party. And then he comes to me and he goes, give me the keys and to my truck.
Yeah.
At a white Ford Ranger pickup truck.
Oh.
And then I give him the keys because I'm chilling with girls and I'm like, I'm not leaving this party. Here, take the keys. Get out of here.
Yeah.
And then about maybe 1 minute goes by and I go, oh, Jesus fucking Christ. I gave him the keys to my car. He's shit-faced, shit house. Like, oh, no, like that was a mistake. So then I panic and run out of the house. And I go, oh, God. And then he's sitting on the curb outside a white Ford Ranger. And I'm arguing with him, like fighting with him, and I don't even know what, or just shit-faced debauchery, you know? And then the cops pull up, and it's bloop, bloop. And then I see cops, I have narcotics, I'm shit-faced. I go, run, you know? First thought, that's what you do.
Play it
cool. Play it cool, run. And I'm so shit-faced that I'm trying to run back in the house that I just came out of. I'm so shit-faced, but / also smart enough to figure this out in my criminal degenerate mind. Like, I go to run back in the house I just came out of 1-2 minutes prior.
Right.
And I don't remember which house it is. I'm like, oh, geez, it's not my house. You know, it's the first time I've ever been there. I was like, fuck, doors closed. All the lights are on, all the house on the block. You know, I go, And I don't want to try to go in the wrong house.
No.
And then I get a breaking and entering or trespassing charge.
Yeah.
So I just book it down the block. And then they corner me. Of course, they catch me. And they corner me and they draw guns. I got 2 cops, guns drawn on me. And they go, hands in the air. And I'm like this. And then they just start laughing because I'm shit-faced.
Right.
And when I was running, I stashed the drugs in my boxer brief, so it's below my ball sack, you know, stash them good, brother.
Good thing you went with the briefs.
Yeah.
Just boxers, they would have fallen right out.
Fell down.
Yeah.
And then they're laughing at me because I'm still in my Trader Joe's shirt. I still got my name tag on and everything. And so is my other buddy. We're both in our fucking uniforms because we went straight to the bars after work. We're like, fuck it. And the Trader Joe's is a weird thing. Like, it's like almost like a weird mild celebrity, not like celebrity, but like people are like, hey, Trader Joe's. Like if it was Ralph's, they'd say, get the fuck out of here, Ralph.
Right.
But Trader Joe, they're like, ooh, you know. So we wore it for 2 reasons. It gets it's a conversation starter.
Definitely.
But honestly, we just got off work and went straight to the bar and didn't have a change of clothes was the real reason.
Right.
But that is, plan B was like, fuck it. So then these cops have guns on me and they see my Trader Joe's. They just start laughing. They're like, why'd you run? I'm like, I don't know. And then they're just cracking. All I remember is these cops are just laughing at me. And then I'm arguing with my buddy, and I'm outside these girls' house, and they just see me and my buddy getting arrested. And I'm going, fuck you, Steve. I'm never hanging out with you again. You get me arrested. And he's going, fuck you, man. I don't know why they're here. And we're just arguing back and forth. I said his name. I didn't give a last name, though. We're good.
You didn't.
And then they're just fucking, we're just yelling at each other. These girls are like laughing, but also concerned in the party. And then they come out of the house. I'm like, that was the house. God damn it. I should have went in that one. They can't get me. You need a warrant, motherfuckers.
What did they arrest you for, though? Did they find the drugs?
Well, I'll get to that.
Oh, sorry. I don't.
It's okay. So, drunk in public is the charge I got. I was released in the morning. But, so what happened was that house we were at had a white Ford Ranger parked right outside of it. Outside of it. Did I say that right?
Outside of it. You nailed it.
Fucking Jesus.
You're killing it.
And then I had a white Ford Ranger. We started partying in Hermosa. I parked at Hermosa Skate Park. It's where I used to park. If you get shit-faced, you leave your truck there overnight.
Yeah.
Get in the morning. No tickets, no fines, no nothing. Don't know if that's changed. It's been fucking a cool decade since I've been doing that. Anyways, loophole. And I park in Hermosa Beach on the Pier and Plaza. We're then at a house in Redondo Beach, a different city. We're so twacked out, drugged out, drunked out that we think that that's my truck.
Right.
So my buddy gets in this truck that is not mine. It is the neighbor's truck. And it's unlocked too, or the key unlocks. I don't fucking know. Every like third key would open a old Ford Ranger.
Wow.
It was weird.
Huh.
If you want to steal
an
cars,
issue.
there you go.
Yeah.
And then, so the neighbor wakes up and he sees this stranger in his truck and he goes, "Hey, that's my truck. Get the fuck out of it. What are you doing?" And my buddy goes, "Fuck you. This is my buddy's truck." And he goes, and then the neighbor goes, "I'm going to call the cops." He goes, "Call him, asshole. This is my friend's truck." So that's how the cops show up. And then the key wouldn't start the ignition. And then so my buddy's just sitting there outside the truck waiting for the cops. I walk out after that little scenario happened. Didn't know that exchange happened. I might have joined in and been like, "Hey, fuck you. That's my truck." We were just that drugged out, you know? And then the cops take us to jail, but he's on parole.
Right.
I wasn't on probation yet. They didn't get me for the firework horse assault bit yet, you know?
Okay.
So I was somewhat clean. I'd only one arrest, but the charges were expunged or dropped or whatever the fuck. And then, so now we go to jail, and I'm fucking crying and telling them, like, "I can't go to jail. I got to work in the morning. Like, what? You got to let me go. I got to go to work.
I gotta be at Trader Joe's.
And they're like, "What time do you work?" I'm like, 5. Oh, 5 p.m. They're like, "You'll make it." And I'll go, "a.m." And they just start laughing. They're like, "Dude, it's 5:15. You ain't making it." And then I start bawling. I was like, "Oh, man, I'm going to get fired." And they're just fucking cracking up. And then I get in the jail cell. And then I'm laying on my cot, and I pull out the little bag of pills of Oxys or Norcos or whatever.
Yeah.
Had to have been Norcos at that time, at least that strength, because regular Vicodin wasn't working at that point.
Yeah.
And then I'm fucking fondling the bag, like looking at him like, "Yeah, I smuggle drugs into jail, bitches. Fuck you." And then I look up and there's a camera pointed right at me, and I'm like, "Ah!" And I just fucking panic. I go, and I eat all of them, swallow them, and I flush the baggie down the drain, the empty baggie. Yeah. And then now I'm more fucked up than when I went in. And then when they release you from the drug tank, it's very early in the morning.
Yeah.
And they, I don't know, 7, 8 a.m., whatever. They let me loose, and I'm more twacked out than I ever was. And then I'm walking down PCH, and I stop at whatever grocery store that was. It wasn't Trader Joe's. It was like a Ralph's or Vaughn's or some shit. And I buy a 32 ounce of Gatorade because I'm so thirsty and hungover. And I just fucking chug the whole thing. And I remember walking down PCH going, "Uh-oh," and I just puke it all out. This is on PCH, 8, 9, 8, whatever, early in the morning. People driving to work, they see a guy going, just fucking Gatorade, dude. Red Gatorade into the bushes. Not even trying to hire it, and to just stand up walking like, "Oh, I feel good," you know?
Can I ask?
Yeah.
How were you able to carry yourself while still in jail to not get any more like attention on you when you were that
Oh, are you
fucked
kidding?
up?
I was loud, obnoxious, yelling, screaming, talking shit. They came up and they did the fucking the billy club, whatever, the big fucking wooden baton stick.
Sure.
And they pointed it at me and they go, "Shut the fuck up or I'm coming in there." And I went, "Ugh." And then I shut up after that. And that's probably when I laid in bed and started fondling my drugs. But no, they absolutely threatened me, and I went, "Uh-oh, I'm going to get the shit beaten out of me. I better shut the fuck up."
Okay.
So I did.
Okay. So now you're on the PCH.
And I'm on
vomiting.
PCH puking. And then I walked by this bong store. It was called Global Soul Surf Skate Smoke on PCH and 190. I believe it moved to Artesia, but both of my buddies used to make bongs for them. And then one advanced and moved on and opened up his own shop. And I don't know what happened to the other buddy, but one or both of them is still working there at this point. Because this is like fucking 8, 9, 10 years ago, dude. And then, oh, by the way, I have a scab on my forehead because some point when I was resisting arrest, my head got hit by the sidewalk or the cop door or something, but I have a scab on my forehead and blood on my face.
Ugh.
and I'm puking on PCH with blood on my face.
So, yeah, looking like $1 million.
Hey, I'm sober now. Coffee. Anyways, so I go in there and I see my buddy. I'm not going to name him. He's married and has kids now, you know. And he makes bongs. And I go, hey, man, I just got out of jail. I got arrested. I'm shit-faced, scab, blood on my face. He goes, I can tell. And then he turns around and there was like a bong or a bubbler and a nug jar. And I just steal it and I put it in my pants. And I walk out after conversating with him. Yeah. But then this is how I know I'm a good person. I go, wait a minute, what am I doing? It wasn't technically even from him. It was from the store, and his boss was actually quite a bit of an asshole. But I was like, that's fucked up. So I walk back in. I go, I stole this. I'm sorry, man. He goes, you're an asshole. I go, I'm returning it. And I give it back. And then I fucking walk down PCH, drive home, and missed work.
I would imagine.
I think I went out partying that night or the next night, but I had a scab on my forehead. And everyone's like, what happened to you? I was like, I got arrested. It wasn't my fault. They're like, sure, that's what every fucking degenerate says. I was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. Yo, fans out there, his listeners, whatever the fuck, if you ever say, I was at the wrong place or the wrong time or it wasn't my fault, fuck you. It was 100% your fault. You were doing something. You had the fucking seed of the devil or whatever, and you started hanging out with Tweaker Boy on parole. If he says, I do speed and I'm on parole, walk away. Don't befriend him, sell him drugs, then trick him into buying you drugs back with your money. You're wrong. Get sober. Find God, Buddha, Allah, AA, coffee, whatever the fuck. Stick your finger in your booty hole. Do what you got to do. You get off that shit. And you go tell jokes and catch me at Chino Hills this Thursday. Anyways, it's your fault. It's 100% your fault, motherfuckers. It's 100% your fault. What goes around comes around. That which you do in the dark comes out in the light. Whatever the fuck you want to say.
I like that.
Karma's a bitch. It'll get you. There's no good karma. There's bad karma. There's just karma. It just
goes
full
around.
Circle.
Mm-hmm.
Full circle. Circle of life. Lion King. The message out there. Listen. Yeah. Anyhow. Where the fuck was I?
Have you seen the trailer for the new Lion King?
No.
It's live action, but it's literally just shot for shot the cartoon, but with CGI. I don't understand why it needs to exist.
Yeah, some things are just left better with old Grafiki Simba and
Right.
Nala.
Yeah.
That was the God reference. I got confused.
There it is. Yeah.
Homonym.
But what's funny is James Earl Jones is back to do the voice again.
Is he?
But I mean, he's like 88, and he sounds like an old man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know if that's going to hold up.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know either. We'll see.
Oh, wait, there's one tidbit
Yeah.
more. So I did a no-call, no-show at Trader Joe's. And then I go the next day to work. And, of course, I'm getting a write-up because that's what happened when you no-call, no-show at your job.
Sure.
And then I had all these lists of lies I was going to tell them. Keep in mind, I still have a scab fucking wound on my forehead.
Right.
And then I'll tell them I was in the hospital. Blah, blah. Anyways, I get in there, and they're writing me up. And they go, what happened? And I just went, I was in jail. And then they just started laughing. They just fucking bust out laughing. And they didn't fire me, thank God, because they could have immediately.
Yeah.
And then they asked me, was so-and-so with you? Was Steven with you? And I go, I didn't lie. I didn't lie.
Right.
I didn't rat on him, but I'm not a good liar either. So I guess I probably inadvertently ratted on him. I probably just went, what? Steven? Like, I don't. Steven who? I don't know. No, he wasn't. I don't know. What are you talking about? Hey, what's that over there?
Yeah, it was the orange juice sale over there,
I definitely 100% didn't rat on him, but I might have been so bad at covering up that I inadvertently gave him up. But also, They fucking knew. It didn't matter. I could have yeah, he was with me, or it didn't matter because we were fucking druggies together. We smoked weed together, sold drugs together. We were buddies, and we always went. They just, frickin' frack. So like, it didn't even need to ask. They fucking saw us leave together and us fucking get in my truck, So anyways, I told the truth. He lied. He got fired. I didn't. Tell the truth, motherfuckers. The truth will set you free. And then, I ended up fronting him one more dub of weed, and I never got that back. But when you lose your job, whatever, you could have that.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, Steve.
I think he actually might have paid me back like 4 years later, 5 years later at a comedy show or something.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyways, I think he's sober now. He got his life together too.
Good.
What the fuck? Yeah, so scabbed up for. I didn't get fired for that. You go to jail at Trader Joe's, you don't get fired. It's that flatulence that'll get you.
Yeah. So what happened? So you farted on your manager?
I farted on my manager and recorded it and put it on social media. And corporate saw it, and then they were like, "Get this kid out of here," and then they fired me.
So
that was sober. About 98% of your bad decisions go out the window when you decide to get sober. Did that make sense? 98% of bad decisions stop when you get rid of alcohol and narcotics.
Sure,
but
still at 2%.
2%.
Yep.
Number 2.
So, what was the inspiration for the farting on your manager video?
Honestly, dude, I love farts. I'm half Mexican. I've been farting my whole life. My mom farts. I fucking think they're God's gift to earth. They're the funniest shit. I love it when girl farts, girlfriend, they get that, I'm not allowed to fart bullshit. Right. You rip it. You
let it rip.
Fart in my face. I'll fucking laugh and love you to the day I die. It don't matter. Fart away, baby. Even when it stinks, even better. There's nothing like a rotten asshole fart just hitting a guy's face, and you just see his face turn, and it just brings joy to my soul.
You and I are in agreement on this.
Yeah.
Farts
But, maybe the world doesn't share our views.
Apparently not. Apparently no one, the corporate heads at Trader Joe's.
Yeah. But honestly, bro, I should have and could have been fired every single day that I worked in existence of my job at Trader Joe's. Yeah. I was upped. I'm a fucking mischief son of a bitch, brother. I've loved fireworks, knives, fucking all the bad stink bombs, fart bombs, itchy powder, dumped down friends' back. And it's from 8 years old to fucking 2 months ago when I got fired. Like, I love mischief. I mean, just look at this smile. It's just like
that's mischievous smile.
I just like, fuck a boring life. Let's sprinkle a little devil in there. Not too much though.
Oh no.
And you become a murderer, Just the standard fireworks, and farts.
So speaking of fireworks, did you mention something about fireworks and horses or something?
Yeah, I threw firecrackers at cops on horses in Hermosa Beach.
Oh, there were cops on the horses.
There was cops on them. And PETA, the animal organization, wished death upon my soul. Why am I talking so weird? I drink a lot of coffee. I'm sober now. Anyways, so I do this bit on stage. I kind of stopped doing it, but I still need to do it because I sell T-shirts with the joke on it. But it's an older story bit, but it's a classic. It's a true story, and it's a good bit, but it's also, it happened. But
the best bits happened.
Yeah, the truth to the situation for you PETA pussies out there. I respect animals, too. I was so drunk, shit-faced, twacked out of my skull that I was walking down Hermosa Beach Strand on 4th of July. Thousands of people, I don't even know, hundreds of thousands, however many people you could fit on a beach, that's how many motherfuckers there are.
Yeah.
And I lit firecrackers, and I threw them, and I threw them down. I threw them at people, actually, so PETA, back off. Yeah. Human rights organizations, you bring it on. There's the real target. No, I just was mischief. I just wanted to light them, throw them down. I didn't want to harm anybody. I just like to firecrackers.
Maybe
boom, boom,
make
boom.
them jump a little bit.
Let's fucking get the balls hanging,
Yeah.
Get the wee-wees going. What? And I dropped them, threw them down. I was so shit-faced. I lit them, dropped them down. They dropped to the ground. Then I look up. And then I see a fucking battalion of cops on horses, a fucking posse, battalion, whatever, dozens of them. And I go, uh-oh, like, I fucked up. This is bad. This is bad. But in comedy, you can't spell out every fucking detail, PETA and the fucking horse people that blocked me, all right? I never intentionally harmed them, and I actually did not throw them directly underneath. I dropped them on the ground in the vicinity of the area. That's the truth. But I have dozens of witnesses that saw that got the charges dropped because the cops lied. Because I didn't do what they said I did. I just was drunk and dropped them on the ground. I didn't know. Anyways, the newspaper wrote that I threw them underneath the horses. It makes for a better story, sure.
Yeah.
My stand-up, the story I tell, I threw them underneath the horses. It makes for a better bit. It gives a little punch. Really, I was shit-faced, drunk, and dropped them in the vicinity of the area. Either way, the article also said it didn't spook the horses. Bullshit.
I bet it.
They went, and the cops fucking almost fell off, and they were fucking so pissed. But what really happened it was just like in the movie, the cloud of smoke like dissipates.
Yeah.
I was fucking walking through them like fucking Keanu Reeves and John Wick or whatever. But I did play it cool, but like in the brain, it's like I literally lit them, look up, see cops, hadn't detonated yet, and I see them, I go, oh fuck, I'm dead. And then the prayers start, oh God, if you just get me out of this, if you just get me out, I'm never doing drugs again. I'm gonna go hug my mama. I'm gonna apologize to everybody I've wronged in my life. I'm never doing cocaine again, and then just like the cops are going this way and I'm going that way, and then the cops pass me because they didn't see who did it. They just they didn't actually see who did it.
Yeah,
there's a sea of people.
Right. Yeah, there's people.
I'm
everywhere.
one of directly in front of them, 500 people, thousands. This is 4th of July. The Hermosa Beach is crowded.
Yeah,
and I go, oh my God, and I make it past them. I was like, I made it past them. I have a backpack full of firecrackers. I was selling them at that time because I know how to live, brother. You gotta fucking sell fireworks unless you're a pussy. And then I fucking made it past them, and then some asshole, I hear him go, it was the guy with the backpack and the bandana or whatever. Yeah. He rats me out, and then I feel them coming, and the cops are horses, and they're running, they're after me, and I just start running. They tackle me. They fucking would have beat the shit out of me, but there was so many witnesses, but I could feel it in the squeeze. They're like, hey, did you do this? But you'd never admit to shit. I said, no, I didn't, sir. And they rip open my back. What's this? I go, hey, it's a good time. That's my plans for the evening. I was just going to light them off. I'm innocent. Yeah. And a wad of cash. They go, you selling these? I said, no, sir. And then they, of course, take me to jail. And that's the whole bit. They go, and it's the truth, though. They're like, where are the drugs at? Where are they at, hippie? Because I fucking, of course, had drugs, did drugs, was on drugs. And the genuine thought in my head, I went, ha-ha, they're in my body. You're too late, bitches. And that's the punchline of my joke, but it was the truth of the situation. I was like, too late, piggy. Yeah. And thank God, because I just did coke, and had I had it on me, that's then possession of narcotics.
Yeah.
But it was in my blood.
Oof.
Beat ya.
So they can't get you if it's already in your blood?
No. Yeah. It's in you. It's in you.
I'm shocked they don't have, they don't just do a blood test, and if it's in you, then
it's better if it is in you, because then they be like, I'm a drug addict. I'll go to rehab.
Yeah,
then you go to rehab, not jail.
Right. That's true. Okay.
And then I go to jail, and they find this little rock. It's a quartz crystal. They go, what's this? I go, it's a rock. What kind of rock? Oh, it's quartz. I'm a hippie. Then they're laughing. They're like, we're going to send you to jail, terrorist. I'm like, I'm American. I'm a peaceful man. I sound like fucking Harlan Williams on a Half-Baked. I'm a school teacher. I'm a peaceful man. I remember thinking that, too, because I'm, of course, a huge fan of his and Half-Baked. And I was like, he assaulted horses. He killed the horse, but that was fictional. I accidentally assaulted them.
What was the charge?
It was possession of explosive device. Device is actually what did I say? Possession?
Yeah.
Detonation of explosive device is, because a pack of firecrackers is 16.
Yeah.
If you didn't know that, now you know.
I didn't. Yeah.
And then it was possession, detonation, assault on an officer of the law, and assault on a horse officer, which I thought was hilarious, but that's true, and it's actually a more expensive fine than the cop.
They value the horse more than the
Because of
cop.
PETA and shit.
Yeah.
And everybody's so quick to judge. Nobody's willing to find out the truth of the situation. Regardless, it was a fucked up thing, but there was no malicious intent whatsoever.
Right.
I was a dumb, drunken druggie. How about a little empathy towards me? Let's send this kid to rehab. I'm finally sober now. Yeah. And so then, so I had 4 charges. I was in jail. I was going to do, the sad fact is, I'm white and I got a lawyer. I'm half Mexican, but I don't look it, If this had been a different scenario, they'd thrown the book at me. But even being a fucking dirty hippie kid, I would have at least, I don't even know, done 6 months, a year, 2 years. I don't really know. But I admit nothing, baby. And you get a lawyer and you fight that shit and you appeal or whatever, put off. I don't know the fucking lawyer
Extensions?
jingo. Yeah,
I don't know.
By the time I finally had to go to court, it was like a year later.
Oh, nice.
It was 14 months later. The dust is settled.
Right.
They almost forgot to file on my lawyer almost got it completely dropped off like a clerical error.
Really?
But then the chief of police, Hermosa Beach chief, called the court, the DA, what are you fucking, because they hated me. They wanted to make an example of me. It made 3 local newspapers.
I was going to say, it sounded like this was
My mom was crying.
Issue.
Yeah, that's all in my act, but it's all the truth of the situation. Like I say, it made 3 local newspapers and my mom cried, but it's just a true sentence as well as a funny joke. Yeah. And my mom's bawling. She's like, "You made the paper." I was like, "Ah!" And I wish I saved them, but like, when that was happening, it was such a sensitive nerve. I was like, "Throw that shit away. I don't want to read it."
So it wasn't funny in the moment for you.
No.
Yeah.
I went into work. I missed work again because I was in jail and my manager's holding the paper. "Craig, you want anything to tell me? Do you have anything to tell me about this weekend?" He's laughing. I go, "I don't want to talk about it." Literally out on bail working at Trader Joe's.
This sounds like the coolest boss ever.
Yeah, they didn't give a fuck. He's so
I'll
weedy,
tell you
that
farther
guy.
on.
He's
Yeah.
cool. And then I got a lawyer. The chief of police called and wanted to make an example out of me and my lawyer. I had a good ass lawyer, Ron Barrow. I'll plug him. You need a criminal lawyer, Ron Barrow, baby. He did me good. And he got it dropped. And you know what was cool about him? I called all these lawyers, and they're like, "Oh shit, you the kid that made the paper?" And I was locally in Torrance, South Bay. I was a criminal celebrity for that period of time.
Did they give you a name?
Yeah, Lamita Man. Deputies lasso Lamita Man. I was the firecracker kid from Lamita, the druggy kid. And I called all these lawyers. They're quoting me 10 grand, 20 grand. I was like, I work at Trader Joe's. That's my yearly salary,
Right.
motherfucker. And then this motherfucker is like, "Dude, I'll do it fucking almost pro bono." He's like, "Just give me court costs and shit. I'll do it 2G. And I was like, "What? Yeah, done."
Yeah.
Because I was like, I could afford that,
Yeah.
Like, I can't afford these 15G motherfuckers.
God, no.
And then he told me that he represents fucking murderers, coke dealers, kilos of coke with AK-47s. And for like months, he would get hit up. "Hey, you're representing that firecracker kid in Hermosa, the horse assaulter?" And he said I was the talk of the town in the lawyer lingo. And my sister knew cops in the Hermosa Beach Task Force. Yeah. And he said they talked about me for like a month in the briefings. They're like, "If you see this kid, you fucking get him." Because they, it was assault on the cops, even though it wasn't. It fucking wasn't. I mean, it may be an accidental assault.
Right.
Yeah. And it's just bullshit. Everything gets twisted.
Yeah.
And then my lawyer got all charges dropped except for possession. Because they never actually saw me do it, even though they said that I threw them underneath. There was no footage. I had witnesses saying otherwise. They're like, that's not what happened. It was at least, I don't know, 20 feet from them. And like, regardless, what I did was bad.
Right.
But it didn't match to their lie
Right.
that they said. Like, the judge is like, well, he's guilty of that, but not what you're saying. And every lawyer told me the same thing. They just stack charges. And just like you could do like one little thing and they'll hit you with this because everything gets settled down here. So they aim high and they settle low. But it's like, yo, motherfucker, how about you just charge me what I'm actually guilty of?
Right. We'll be done with this.
What if those charges did stick? And then I'm in prison with rapers and murderers and I'm just firecracker, dirty hippie kid that then just gets shit out of fucking weird criminalized, what is that called? Institutionalized. It happened to my cousin. He's still in prison right now. Brother Hector, don't do the crime, you do the time. I think he shot some people, but that's different.
Well, yeah,
don't gangbang. And if you do, get a lawyer.
You know a good one.
Mm-hmm. So then, where was I at? I don't know. I got out. I just got possession of explosive device, firecrackers, because that's all I really had, and they had on me. Admit nothing. Say one word in that fucking jail cell or intervention room. Intervention room? What is the fuck's it called?
Oh, God, I've been in them, too. It's
whatever, you know, detention. Whatever the fucking the detective is sweating you and they got you in. Just say lawyer.
Is it intervention? That doesn't.
No, intervention is to get
different.
you off drugs.
Yeah.
You know what the fuck we mean?
Interrogation.
There you go. Interrogation.
Somebody watching or listening was going, interrogation, you idiots.
I did too much drugs. I'm sorry.
I'm just an idiot.
You know, say one word. Say lawyer. Say lawyer. That's it. Lawyer.
That's it.
Or keep your mouth shut. Don't even say that. Lawyer. I'd like to see my lawyer. Lawyer. Suck my cock. Don't say that.
Yeah,
actually, that might be
go over
something
well.
else. Another charge. I don't know. Just say lawyer and fart. Fart on them.
Yeah.
I farted on some cops. That's another story.
Oh.
But then, hang on. I've never gotten in full detail of this story like this. It's usually the short 1 minute stage version. And then they got me possession, and my lawyer was good as fuck, and all I got was time served for the time I was in jail, and I got court-ordered Caltrans with the orange vest, the beach cleanup, freeway cleanup. I was one of those guys, and I was banned from Hermosa Beach Pier and Plaza for 3 years. I couldn't go pretty much the city, because that's all you fucking go there for is the Pier and Plaza and the beach. And I still went, though. Put my hair in a bun. Normally my hair's down and shit. I pull it out. And then, so get a good lawyer, admit nothing. And then I went a couple times, and I was like, what are you doing? And I almost got arrested again. And I was like, you're crazy. And it's not like they fucking would recognize me. But if it was the arresting officers, they would for sure recognize me.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
But if it was other motherfuckers, they wouldn't.
No. You know, I had to do the cleanup duty for tossing a cigarette butt out of my car.
Jesus Christ, this country's gone to shit.
Right.
You know, actually, you could start a forest fire. I take that.
Oh, it was in West Hollywood, so it's unlikely.
Yeah. If it's in forest fire area and you can murder thousands of homes and people and animals, fuck you, go to prison.
Yes.
If it's in West Hollywood, fuck you, cop. Look the other way, you fucking asshole.
Yep. That was my...
That's the extremes of, like, I fucking hang you or, like, look away.
And when I went to court, I'm lucky the judge didn't say anything, but, you know, I had to go before him, and he was just going to be like, $50 fine. And then his little assistant or somebody was like, well, actually, da-da-da-da-da. So he says, all right, you're sentenced to 8 hours community labor. I never heard labor. I've heard service.
Yeah.
But labor, I was just like,
That's
I literally said.
Caltrans shit. It's horrible.
Oh, it was.
I'd rather go to jail.
But I just, No, but I just asked him, I'm like, am I going to be like Paul Newman on the Chain Gang, you know?
Yeah.
And he actually chuckled. So anyway, I've experienced the rough times of labor too.
Yeah.
It was funny though, because when we got there in the morning, and the CEO was like going down the list and wanted all of us to say out loud what we did to be here.
Yeah.
And there wasn't any like murderers, but there was a lot of abuse, domestic abuse, drugs, and then and they're all looking like hard people. And then I'm like, threw a cigarette out my car window.
I littered. I'm sorry. I'm a bad man.
Sorry. And they all just like turned to me. I was like, thank God we're outside, because I feel like I would have gotten my ass kicked.
Wait, give me your lunch, bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny. You're bringing back a lot of memories. So when my lawyer said you got Caltrans, community labor, whatever.
Yeah.
And he goes, you got two options. You want the freeway or the beach? And I was like, well, the beach.
Yeah.
And actually, I swear to God, the beach was worse.
Really?
Because other than it having $1 million view, which was gorgeous, is the beach what you do? Well, first of all, is I did court-ordered beach cleanup in Hermosa Beach, where I was born and raised, and knew thousands of people. So every day I was there, somebody would ride by and be like, Craig? I'm like, hey, Emily, what'd you do? I go, oh, the firecracker horse thing. They go, oh, yeah. And they'd laugh. They're like, oh, you idiot. And I'm like, yeah. And then also on top of that is I was such a degenerate and knew so many degenerates that every day I would do it, I would run into 1 to 3 buddies like, Phil, what are you doing here? They caught me with heroin and shit like that. I swear to God, every day I'd run into a different buddy.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I'm such an idiot and procrastinator. I had a year to do it.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it. And then I asked my lawyer for an extension. He got me 6 more months.
Yeah.
Didn't do it again. And I had like 10 days, because it was horrible. I did it once. I was like, I don't want to do this.
Right.
So then I had like 9 days. And then I had 9 days to do it. Oh. And I was like, hey, can you get me another extension? He's like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Fucking do it. He's like, I'm not getting you an extension. They hate you. They want you to go to jail. Just fucking do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So then I was scheduled at Trader Joe's, and I had to call my manager. And I was like, yo, bro, I got to do Caltrans Beach State fucking labor cleanup shit, or I'm going to jail. Like, yeah, I need you to get my shifts covered. And he was such a dope manager. He's like, I got you. He was also a thug, and he probably had been to jail or threatened with jail, and knew that. He knew I wasn't bullshitting. There was no Insta story at this time, so there was no content. Sorry, people.
Right.
And I think I got 1 or 2 photos of me and one of my criminal buddies. Like, hey, good to see you, Phil. And then, so then I did it, and then on like one of the days I almost got sent home. So because if you mouth off to the guys, you get sent home.
Mm.
And one of the guys was this old bearded looking Santa Claus looking motherfucker, and he's giving my buddy Dustin a hard time, and he's making fun of him for drugs, because he was a heroin addict or Oxycontin, same shit.
Yeah. And
he was there for drugs, and Dustin's doped up, not doing a good job. And the guy is harassed, that's his rocks. He's like, fuck you, you criminal, shovel that shit, you know? So he's picking on my buddy, and then that time it was like the 8th day, and it was very, very close to finishing it. Keep in mind, I had 9 days to do 9 days. And then he's picking on my buddy, and I knew him. I had a rapport with him because I'd worked so many days, and I go, whatever his name was, say Bob. Fuck you, Bob. Like, you never done heroin? I bet you got heroin in your beard right now. I stuck over my buddy. He's like, go home. I'm sending you home. And I go, no. And I just put my head down and kept working because I was like, I'm ignoring that. I'm ignoring that.
I didn't hear anything.
And then he let it slide. I was like, oh, thank God. And then I finished it and got it done. Went back to work, called it a day. And then the reason beach labor is actually worse than freeway labor, for me anyways, is because I ran into a million motherfuckers that were not there with me.
Right.
Just regular citizens that weren't degenerates. As well as is what you're doing is you're cleaning the toilets.
Oh.
And you're pitchforking seaweed. Are you familiar with how heavy seaweed is?
No, but now that you mention
wet seaweed.
Yeah.
So you're cleaning the beach and the bathrooms. It looks pretty. My lower back never hurt so fucking. By the end of it, I was like, like getting out of bed. I was like, oh God, like I just felt like a pregnant woman, like just like, oh no,
seaweed.
But I couldn't quit because I had 9 days to do 9 days, and I just had to do it. But by the end, I was like, oh, I was fucking lost weight, frail, and I almost got kicked out for smoking weed in my car on the lunch break they gave me. I'm such an idiot, you know. I'm sober now.
Sober now.
Yeah. Find God. Fuck church.
So what do you think? Did you learn your lesson after that? Was there any other instances?
Yeah, I don't like talking about that one.
Okay.
So it you know, as they say in AA or most sober Sallies, you know, I always say sober Sallies. I don't know why, but It took me about 5 years to get 1 year sober. You know, it takes a lot. It takes a long time. I got arrested, raided, dick drilled by a dick doctor, and it still took me years after all of that. I got kicked out of my home. I got knocked out, my face stomped, choked out, beat up, and the final straw was, oh man, I hate this one. I tried to hook up with my cousin on my birthday in front of my family, and it's all right. My nothing went down for all you jokesters out there.
Yeah.
My sisters were there, and they were like, you know, I don't really remember. I was on mushrooms, Molly, coke, weed, alcohol, pills, empty stomach. I was just twacked out.
Yeah.
I just kind of, you know, it reminds me of the movie The Hangover. They tell me what happened, and I just get flashes. I was like, oh, shit, that wasn't a dream, you know? And then I let some gay dude rub my backside down, and I just remember that. And he went to rub me. I was like, what are you doing? Get off me, bro. And because I'm not gay, you know?
Right.
And then he was like, no, it'll feel good. And I was like, oh, all right. And then I was like, oh,
yeah. Put it that way.
I was like, you're right, man. A little lower, you know, get that spot.
Yeah.
And then, I woke up covered in olive oil, butt naked.
Where were you?
In my apartment, in my bed. And the last thing I remember, I was twacked out. I probably shouldn't say this anymore, but hey, we're being honest here, you know?
Yeah.
I just remember naked, masturbating with my apartment door open, hoping somebody would come by and fuck me, you know. And then and then after that, I was like, it's time to get sober.
That was what put you over the edge.
Oh yeah, I was sober within 2-3 weeks of that.
Wow.
Day. But that was after a million of these things, you know.
Yeah.
I had 50, fucking 60, 70 rock bottoms, like the too many to. And then that was my last one where I was like, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done. Because that wasn't me. I'm a nice, kind person. But when you're on narcotics and alcohol, these weird, you know, you just get weird. You get ugly, you know. Instead of blossoming, you go down in the depths of hell.
So what drew you to alcohol and narcotics in the first place? Was it the idea that
just
it was
numbing,
fun?
Not wanting to deal. Well, yeah, and it's fun. All of it. It's fun. It's because at first, you know, it's just like in the movies. You get a little high. You're like, that's nice. You laugh. You have a good time with your buddies, and then you're like, I want more. And then that's when the numbing comes in. You're like, more. It says take 2. I'll take 12.
Yeah.
You know, I'll take 26 Norcos and drink like a fish and do coke. You're like, what? No, you're gonna die. You're gonna die.
So yeah, I mean, it's a question of just trying to, because whatever you're doing at first, then you need more to get match the high, right? So you're just trying to always match the high.
First, it was fun, or maybe not, but it's absolutely to get numb and check out and not deal with whatever feelings you don't want to deal with.
Yeah,
you know, whether it be your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. You fucking were touched or not touched. You're in the closet. You're not. Whatever. It's just that to suppress. Oh, I'm thinking thoughts about this that I don't. No, I'm not.
Right.
I eat it. I sniff it. I shoot it. I smoke it. Whatever. It's it suppresses the darkness of the feelings that you don't want to feel or don't want to deal with. And then when you get sober, they come out and you're like, oh, I have to deal with this. I feel.
Yeah.
I feel everything now. It's good and bad. You're like, why am I crying? It's 2 and I'm in my car. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Before you just sniff a little Oxycontin and then cry out of
away.
happiness.
Right.
You scratch your nuts with a bristle brush, baby.
Well, if you're comfortable, what was it that you were trying to suppress?
I don't even know. Just all of it. I don't know. Like I couldn't really tell you. I don't want to put my parents on blast because they love me and they did the best they could. But, I just kind of had an alcoholic dad, grew up in a bar. I just hung out in a bar from the time I was a toddler till the time I could vocalize and say, I don't want to fucking hang out anymore. And then that was probably at like 14. Mm-hmm. It's literally from a baby to 14, I hung out in, I don't want to fucking talk too much shit, but the lower end bars, the nonprofits, the fucking
not Cheers, where everything's just jokey and fun.
Yeah, just
I get it.
Low energy bars,
sure.
Not high end fucking cosmopolitan bars where beers are $2 all of the time bars,
right?
Where a lot of the patrons are missing their teeth bars,
right?
Tattoos and have knives, and a lot of pool hustlers, gamblers, illegal activity bars, and that seemed cool at the time. But my mom would always yell at my dad, why are you taking them there? Because I'd come home smelling like smoke, because back then you could smoke in the bars. And these kind of bars, even when the law got passed, they're like, fuck you, we're still smoking. You don't like it, get the fuck out. Those kind of bars, open at 6 a.m., close at 2 a.m. kind of bars. I feel like I said bars a lot in this last. Anyways, that was predominantly my childhood, is driving around with my dad, collecting money from fucking alcoholics and gambling and whatnot. And they had illegal gambling halls at a lot of these places. And I remember him putting money in a slot machine and going, this is why you don't gamble, because you lose it. And I hit the jackpot and won like $100 as an 11-year-old, and I could feel the bar patrons fucking hate me. And he's like, it's not my fault.
Because they've all probably put money into it, and then you just walk in.
He hit the jackpot. He's not even of age. I'm like, motherfucker, it's not even legal in the state, bitch.
Let's not get into the technicalities of it. Well,
seen strippers at a young age. I remember my dad, I saw like this lady fucking bust out in her titties, and my dad like handed me off to his buddy and goes, get him out of here, and gets a lap dance. And my dad probably hates me.
Are you guys cool now?
Oh yeah, I love
That's great.
them. I do family dinner with them every Tuesday.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And just that type of upbringing. My mom was a square, so I had the balance, thank God. And then so when you just witness that at a very young age, you kind of just infiltrates you, and instead of being like, I don't want to live that lifestyle, I dove in and was like, I want to live that lifestyle, minus the gambling. I didn't want to go down that route. I saw what it did to people.
Yeah.
But I saw what the drugs and alcohol did to people, and I dove head first straight in.
I feel like that goes one of two ways. Like it's either you go head in, or you become a complete square, and you're like, I don't want to do that at all. It's kind of one extreme or the other.
Yeah, I dove in.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I always go like, I don't want to say all this shit, but because I worried about what you say can harm your career. But at the same time, I guess all this shit is probably going to help and save some people.
Yeah.
So fuck it. I guess let it be. It's nothing but the truth of the situation of what really happened to me.
Exactly.
So if you think I'm a monster, fuck you. Don't judge, you judger.
Stop judging.
Fucking work on yourself, because that's what I'm trying to do. And just become a better person,
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
But so then I just, not that, my dad was a better version of his dad. And because because his dad was a nutter. So he's also trying to work on himself. Maybe not, he has that old school, you're not allowed to work on yourself, but he is a better version for sure. So I know he is. He just will never admit it. You know, the kind of dad that's proud of you, but will never tell you. It's like, you tell your friends, why don't you tell me, motherfucker? But that's just the old school generations. He's born in 1946. That's how it went down back then.
Yeah, I think it's for the better that we've become, all of us are more open.
Yeah.
And talk more.
That
now.
Toxic masculinity bullshit.
Yeah.
You don't cry. Like, oh yeah, well, it's going to come out in another fucking facet.
Right. Yeah. If you don't cry, then it's going to come out when you beat the shit out of somebody. If you bottle that shit up.
It's a poisonous territory because, like, if we're too feminine, then, women might not like us.
Right.
And if we're... I don't know. It's just like, it's a balance. You know, we do need to be a strong, independent man, but also in touch with our feelings. Pinkies up, bitches.
Well, as we wrap up, I am curious. So how long were you doing drugs consistently?
I started smoking weed at 12 years old, and then alcohol crept in at maybe about 14, 15. And then narcotics crept in, about 20, 21. And then I got completely sober, not one drop, drink, sniff, puff, sip, nothing at 29.
Okay.
So from 12 to 29, I was on something. I would say the extremely dark period of my life during that time was the drugs and narcotics.
Yeah.
The weed helped save my life to get off narcotics, so I never try to shit on weed too much. I will say this too. I always tell all my stoner buddies, like, are you Bob Marley? Are you John Lennon? Or no, you work at Starbucks, put the fucking weed down, asshole.
Right.
Go get some shit first. Become what you want to become. Then sure, whatever. Weed's pretty harmless in my opinion. Nobody's ever overdosed. It helped get me off coke and oxys and alcohol, so I'm forever grateful. But as well as at the same time, you can abuse marijuana.
Right. Oh yeah, it can become a real crutch.
You may not overdose, but you may not leave your house.
Right.
And it may not kill you, but it might kill your dreams. So there's that. So to each their own. Whatever works for you. If you're an appropriate stoner, you get everything done, you're done with work, you smoke a little weed, enjoy a movie or a podcast, cool. You smoking like I smoke 2 hits of OG Kush before you brush your teeth at 4 a.m. before your shift at Trader Joe's, then you smoke on your 10-minute break, then your lunch, then your second 10, then when you get off work in your car for the drive home when you live a half a mile away, maybe you should not smoke weed.
Maybe.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
I would smoke 12, 10, 4, 28 times. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Just the whole day.
Yeah.
At least 2 G's of OG Kush. And fuck that pussy sativa shit, you bitches. OG Kush. As I'm sober, I'm promoting. Yeah. OG Kush till I die. Fuck all that hybrid shit. OG Kush, that fucking, that Snoop-a-Loop, pine tree. Ooh, you got any weed, man? Relapse. No, but, I say get sober. But, whatever. To each their own. If you're not a fucking addict, you do you, baby.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound preachy.
No.
But, if you... I'm not even knocking working at Starbucks. I'm just saying if you're not doing what you want to do, then put that shit on hold. A lifespan is a long time. That's also what I would tell myself. As I could just do 1 year sober because, I've been fucked up for 17 years.
Yeah.
I could try 1 year not fucked up,
Yeah.
I could come back. And then once you get sober and you're like, oh shit, like my life is going up. I don't want to fuck with that. So then I'm like, all right, I'll just keep it going. Now I'm 5 years sober.
That's fantastic.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I'm curious if you have time. So during all this the drug years, what was your romantic life like? Were you able to like have a reliable, sort of stable relationships?
I was fortunate that girls have always liked me, even through my dark druggy period.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a drug addict living at home with my mother, and girls just still like me. I would think in my head like, "Why do you like me?" I had a car, but I had expired tags. I didn't take care of my life. So I literally be like, "And you drive?" Like just a fuck, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always was lucky in the women department, and
Nice.
I always was actually in my head hesitant to jump into a relationship when I was in the depths of hell, because even in my brain was like, "What's wrong with you if you like me?"
Right.
I remember thinking that, and so I never dove in. I just kind of fooled around for years,
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. What was it? Did I answer your question?
Yeah. I was just curious. Well, that's a hell of a story. Multiple stories.
Yeah.
And I definitely appreciate you being open and honest about it all.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, my only advice is if your life isn't going the direction you think it's going, whether you think you have a problem or not, because of course every addict, I don't have a problem. You're in denial. But even if you don't have a problem, like I said, like what's trying 1 year of sobriety?
Yeah.
A life is, whatever, maybe 80, 90 years, maybe shorter, but what's 1 year of not drinking in the big scheme of things? You can always go back. And then once you do try it, you might see that your life just goes on an upward trajectory, because you're like, oh, all that dumb bullshit fights that I get in over nothing is almost, because when you're sober, you're just like, I'm not going to waste my time on that.
Right.
I'm going to walk over here.
Yeah.
But when you're shit-faced, you're like, you motherfucker. You dive in, and that shit just kind of dissipates and disappears. And then, get sober, go work at Trader Joe's. Yeah. They don't drug test. And, yeah.
Well, where can people find you on social media and stuff?
Find me on Instagram and Twitter at Craig P. Conant. Tag me in it when you post it. You find me at all the comedy clubs, working, doing stand-up all day, all night. And not all day. They don't open in the day. You know what I meant. Check out my podcast, Community Service Podcast. It's on my Instagram. You can find all information through IG, Twitter, Facebook, all that bullshit.
When did comedy kind of come into this mix?
That's funny. Well, when I was in jail for the firecracker horse assaulter shit.
Really?
I was in jail, fucked up, drugged out, lived with my mother, was a loser, and I had 4 charges and thought I was going to jail for a very long time. And was like, I said to myself, I need to get sober and I need to do comedy, because I always had it in my DNA and blood and shit. Even as a kid, I would remember in class just waiting for that moment to say that line to make the class laugh.
Yeah.
It'd be like, yeah, I just fucking crushed Mrs. fucking Crabtree or whatever the fuck your name is. So that was in me from a child. And then I worked at Trader Joe's with this guy, Brian Granger, and he's a comic, moved to North Carolina, very funny, very good dude. And he worked at Trader Joe's, and I was crazy at Trader Joe's. He's like, dude, you're funny. Like, you got to go do comedy with me. I was like, I don't know. He's like, you're already doing it. You just don't know. Come with me. And he had been bugging me for like a year or two. And I always had wanted to, and I always watched Conan and wanted to do comedy and shit, and loved Richard Pryor and Robin Williams. And then I was in jail, and he had been bugging me, and then I was like, I need an outlet. I'm a drug addict, fucking firework dealer, drug dealer, living at home with my mom with like 7 other Mexicans. I'm having Mexicans, all my family, Yeah. And that sounds racist, but it was my family, motherfuckers. And then I was like, I gotta get out of here, and I gotta stop living this lifestyle. And then from there, I like quit narcotics, and then it's a process to get sober, and it's a process to start comedy. And actually, I saw this TV show. It's called Shatner's Raw Nerve, and it had Tim Allen on it. And Tim Allen, it was a bit like this. It was you're exposed like a raw nerve, and you talk about deep dark shit. And Shatner talked about his wife passing, and Tim Allen talked about selling coke and going to prison. And so I bring that up because I had just TiVo'd and watched that show, and then I had just gone to jail. Yeah. And then my buddy Brian, all the seeds, were planted. And on that show, Tim Allen was talking to William Shatner how he had just done comedy at this club. I forgot what it's called, but he went and he killed, and the guy was like, hey, you're hilarious. You could work my club anytime. Come back. And Tim was like, well, I'm on trial for cocaine distribution. I'm probably going to go to prison for a couple years. When I get out, can I come back and perform your club? And the guy was like, yeah, no problem. So Tim Allen goes to prison for a couple years. I think he did 2 years. All this information is probably pretty damn close to the truth, but I saw this 8 years ago, so I don't remember verbatim, but somewhere along these lines. So he goes to prison, gets out, goes back to the club, and goes, hey, remember me? Can I work your club? And the guy was true to his word, and he's like, yeah, get up there. And then he gets on stage, becomes Tim Allen. The rest is history.
Wow.
And he said he even saved a tile from the club because it was that memorable to him.
Yeah.
And then I just remember seeing that, and then my buddy bugging me to do comedy. I had always wanted to do comedy. It's just kind of in my DNA type shit, even from a kid. And then I was in jail. I was like, shit, I'm just like Tim Allen. I'm about to go to prison for 2 years.
Yeah.
I better do comedy. But my mama loves me. She bailed me out. I got a lawyer. The rest is history. I got sober. I got into comedy. Catch me at the Wiltern last week or in Chino Hills at a bar show this Thursday.
Hey.
That's comedy, baby.
Yes, it is. Well, yeah, you're doing great stuff now. And again, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Thank you, brother. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
That was the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks again to Craig for coming on. Just a great, fun, crazy adventure that he led me down. And it was really fun having him on. I need to expand my vocabulary, I'd say. Great, fun, cool, awesome. I need more. Exquisite? It was an exquisite conversation. How about that? If you did enjoy it, feel free to give that 5-star rating on iTunes. Big shout out to Ugly Chunk for the review you left in the last couple days. I really enjoy reading those. Makes me feel good. And again, it helps us book guests and everything else. So if they look up the show, they'll see that people enjoy it. So thank you, Ugly Chunk. I'm sure that you're beautiful in every way. That's all I've got for this week. Until next Wednesday, keep laughing.